How do you do? My name is Nate Jackson, and I would like to welcome you to the Criterion Collection Reviews YouTube channel. Rather, my personal Criterion Collection Reviews YouTube channel. Today's episode features number 85. No, we're not. No, screw it. There's nothing wrong with being common. Come on now. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being common. So just stop it. Elocution. Electrocution, or whatever it's called. Eloquation. Yeah, anyway. Pygmalion, number 85. Anthony Asquith and, funny enough, the star, Leslie Howard, directed this one. 1938, 90, well, it says 90 minutes, but it's actually like 95 minutes, funny enough. I was wondering, like, when I got to the minute 90, I was like, how are they going to end this like that? There's got to be more. So I checked the time. I was like, there's still 5 minutes left. I'm like, oh, God. I mean, not saying, like, oh, okay, so just not saying, like, oh, it was a boring movie, because it wasn't, but saying that, Criterion screwed up, But anyway, basically, it's a film adaptation of the play by George Bernard Shaw. And if you've seen My Fair Lady, then you've pretty much seen Pygmalion, except this one doesn't have any songs in it. Basically, it's a simple story. It's just about this Professor Henry Higgins who finds this Henry Higgins, right? Yeah, Henry Higgins. I was thinking of the Beverly Cleary character, Henry Higgins. I wonder if that's where she got it from. These things I connect. Anyway, Henry Higgins meets a common girl on the street. Her name's Eliza Doolittle, and she's a Cockney. And she's got, like the really thick Cockney accent. Hey, well, I'm not gonna try and replicate it, but anyway, as he's like writing down what she's saying at the beginning, and as he's found out, he like reveals himself, and he gives her like a large sum of money to like which she takes a taxi home. And anyway, when she comes by his house, and he ends up making a bet with Colonel Pickering, his friend, that he can turn her into a lady within like a week or something like that. Or I forget how long it takes, but she goes for it because she wants to be a better lady, period. But he isn't sealed on the deal until the bet is brought up between him and Pickering. And so there's speech lessons. I'll call them speech lessons. I'm not going to call them eloquent. She has to take a bath, which is a painful scene to watch because she's screaming the whole time. It's like, really? Is this really necessary? And yeah, so she has to learn how to speak the King's English. How do you do? The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains. And all that crap, But anyway, so after a few unsuccessful, attempts to try and bring her out, to her mother, she ends up, she keeps working at it, until it's finally dress time, and so they dress her up, and he throws a big party, and she pulls it off for the most part, and everything's fine until, I guess Higgins and Pickering get drunk and inadvertently reveal to Eliza, who's hiding in a corner in this one room, that it was all a bet, that he wins the bet, and so that's what counts. And she gets pissed, and so she runs away, and Henry looks everywhere for her, and he finds her at her mother's house, and she's upset, and she wants to move on. She has no interest in going back to him, because she's actually, apparently, through all their lessons and things, Henry has grown accustomed to her, and might even be falling for her. And so he ends up kind of revealing this to her, and after the way she treated him, she has no interest, so she runs off with this guy she met at the beginning of the film, this guy who she just happened to know his name is Freddie, but Freddie, I guess, is a nickname in Cockney, but his name just happens to be Freddie. He becomes instantly smitten with her and tries to keep calling on her, and Higgins' maid has to keep sending him away. But in the end, she ends up, going to get married with him, and apparently that's how the movie ends. I mean, the play ends. The play ends like on a sour note. Ends with Higgins paying for his mistrial or his behavior. Whereas in the film, it turns out that Eliza does come back to Henry at the end, of which all his last line is, where the heck are my slippers, or something like that. So it's kind of like he really hasn't changed, and it kind of reveals him to be just a really disgusting character, a really horrible character because of that. That's all, as if this is their life. Why would you stay with this guy? But maybe that's how Leslie Howard directed it. Speaking of which, Leslie Howard. I mean, I'd love to know how much of it was his work, because him playing Higgins as well as directing. How much? I mean, especially the last like major scene with Henry and Eliza, pretty much battling each other. Like there's so much camera work going on and a lot of great dialogue in that scene. I'd love to know how much of it was the stars, work versus Anthony Asquith. I will learn how to speak names just like Eliza did. Yeah, and that's about it. That's pretty much all I can say. It's a good movie. Wendy, what's her name? Wendy Hiller is gorgeous, especially after she becomes a lady. After Eliza becomes a lady, after she really knocks you out of the park after she runs away. But and she stops. She just looks more or less just like a normal British woman, I guess, or whatever that may be. Anyway, but yeah, so it's a great adaptation. The ending, kind of rough. I would have preferred the original ending, and I know Shaw preferred the original ending. He was sick of people wanting to sweeten it, and I guess going as far as to explain, like writing a postscript in one of the novel adaptations as to why they couldn't get married at the end of the play, which I'd love to read because I'd love to know his side of the story. But in the meantime, we got this, and what do I give it? I'll give it a B plus. I give it a B plus because of like scenes like the bath, the screaming, a little torturous on the ears, a little torturous on the soul, and I think the character of Eliza's father could have been toned down just a little. His scenes went on just a little long, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. But apart from that, brilliant stuff, and great way to see the story without Julie Andrews singing all over it, and I've grown accustomed to her face, and screaming at the racetrack and all that, So yeah, that's it. Pygmalion, B plus, pretty good. Anyway, so that's it for now. Tomorrow, no, not tomorrow. Sometime later this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll get to Alexander Nevsky. It's on its way. Hopefully, it'll be here either today or tomorrow. Ivan the Terrible still isn't in transit yet, though. Like I said in my last review, it's on YouTube. So if that's the case, then we'll do it there. And I don't think there are any supplements, but maybe the supplements will come in time. Maybe we'll do a separate supplements video. And then Sisters is on its way. Qui-Gon is on its way. Blob, I don't know. We'll probably get to Sisters probably Monday, and then Qui-Gon Tuesday, and then the Blob Wednesday. I like to say the Blob Wednesday. Yeah, the Blob there isn't a lot, so this will probably be a Wednesday. It's a pretty short film too, so this will be next week, or maybe we'll do another 2 for 2 Tuesday. I mean, we haven't done one in a while. I almost tempted to do it yesterday. I was tempted to do both, whatever the last one was. It's blanking. I'm totally Good Morning and Pygmalion because they're so short. But it didn't happen. So here we are with Pygmalion. And that's it. So we're done talking here. Thanks for watching. And we shall see you sometime later in the near future for number 86. Eisenstein the Sound Years, or rather 87, Alexander Nevsky. And until then, goodbye.